Napa know-how.
This October, it's no trick. A 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil is just $26.99. Plus, get a treat, a $10 Visa gift card. Because the only thing spookier than ghouls and ghosts is engine sludge. That's Mobil 1 5-quart jugs for $26.99 plus $10 back. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Hello, Wildcats. It's your boy Kev, just coming at you like a lawsuit towards those soap shoes at the end of the 90s. You remember those? They had the plastic sole so kids could like grind on handrails and stuff, but everyone was getting hurt, so they ended up getting sued a bunch. Coming at you like those. And anyways, this is just a disclaimer to let you know that this is a comedy and crime podcast. So even though we do cover many serious cases and true events, we do like to throw in some dark humor and inappropriate jokes. So if you are easily offended, this is your warning now. And you also notice in the second half of the episode, Toof had some connection issues. So when he comes back on, his microphone is a little bassy. And then you might notice I get a little Kevin Spacey in this episode. And that just means Andrew was in the next room sleeping, and I was rubbing on him a lot. So, but anyways, I just want to say thank you to everyone for checking out the podcast and listening. And it really means a lot to us that you even take the time to check us out. So thank you, everyone. Be good, stay safe, and laugh at the dark stuff. Hashtag Wildman, baby.
The only time that I'm sad is when I drink too much. And the only time I think of you is when I drink too much. I was screaming your name out in the pouring rain, oh, gritando tu nombre bajo la lluvia, oh grandma, I'm talking grandma, oh grandma, I would like to have your baby. 2, 3, gritando tu nombre bajo la lluvia.
Alright, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Come on down, come on down, hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the Brothers Commonplace tonight.
And we'll do our 10-second of silence right here.
For all the POWs still in NAM.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to the Brothers Commonplace, a comedy and crime podcast where we cover monsters, murders, mysteries, and more.
And movies.
And before we get into today's killer topic, I want y'all to meet the other remaining petals of the Dark Lotus.
Oh. Wait, is Andrew on this one? All right, what's going on, guys? This is Tim, or the Iron Cheek, as they call me. That one time I got a spanking and didn't cry.
Yes.
Did you ever watch the movie Joe Somebody?
Yeah, I did.
With Tim Allen? Yeah.
He's supposed to fight somebody.
When they're playing squash and he gets hit in the balls with like the squash ball, and they're like, "Man, you must have balls of steel." And he takes his racket and he bangs it against his balls, and it makes like a little metal dink dink sound.
So stupid and awesome.
Dude, like that's the only time that movie's ever been mentioned on air. So great.
Dude, actually, in one of our really old episodes where we do taglines, we did it. It was Joe Somebody, watched by nobody.
Oh, yeah.
That's so true. Except me and my mom and dad when I was 13.
Oh, shit.
So we've all seen it. So was that like 10 people have seen that movie?
I guess, man. That movie's doing better than I thought.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Spence, and I was just playing some Texas Hold'em in the saloon there the other day, and I looked at the boys, and I said, hashtag Wildman.
Oh, fuck
yes,
Fuck
baby.
yeah, man.
I love
Hell
it.
yeah.
Hey, this is Toof.
That's all we got?
Yeah, that's all.
Dude, sometimes simplest is the best way.
That's right.
I just try and keep things simple, Jack.
I love the part in that movie when he's licking the blood off of the neck stump of the director.
It's so fucking good. He's like, that tastes actually tastes pretty Bud-like.
So when you made that pedal joke earlier,
Yes.
I was going to say, Yeah, Andrew usually takes those. He takes like petals from a rose and he puts them in his filing cabinet. So I guess you could say he's a pedophile.
That's what I was thinking earlier. I was like, wait a minute. Did he just call us pedals or pedos?
Hey, Spence, I'm pedophile. I'm pedophile.
Wait, hold the flight. I'm pedophile.
And it's your boy Kev, aka the Dirty Dog. And I didn't have a nickname for this episode, but I did have like 4 or 5 jokes that I've been working on for like a week or 2 weeks straight that I just cannot figure out. So I'm just going to lay them out for the listeners or you guys. And if you can make a complete joke or a nickname out of it, then go ahead and have some fun. The first one I think I already mentioned, though, where it was about like how elephants can never forget. But it was like the punchline is about an elephant that forgot 9/11. Did I already tell you guys about that one?
Yeah, I remember it.
The second one is about, Goosebumps, how at the beginning it's always like, reader beware, you're in for a scare.
I mean, spoiler alert, but fine.
Yeah.
And every Goosebumps book always ends with a twist. But this one is going to be like, it's about R.L. Stine, and he starts dating this girl, and like he's trying to get with her and everything. Then at the very end, they're about to get intimate, and he's like taking her undies off, and he's about to go down on her. And much like in the Michael Jackson's Thriller, when at the end he turns around and you find out, oh, fuck. It's like that,
Zombie.
but this girl is actually a werewolf.
Oh.
And she looks down at him, and she goes, eater beware, you're in for some hair.
Oh yeah.
Well, you just gave us the joke. How do we come up with a joke with that?
Well, those two are easily the best ones, because the next one is just Jeffrey Epstein, but he's like a Native American version who goes by Jeffrey Upstream.
Oh.
You need to throw in like some animal names, like Jeffrey Salmon Swim Upstream.
yes. Also, this is just like a video game of like a Mega Man, but instead of the helmet, he wears a MAGA hat, and it's just MAGA Man.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yes.
Wait, I thought we weren't including Andrew in the podcast
Wait,
anymore.
is Andrew here? He is making a lot of references to Andrew.
But yeah, that's it for mine. Sorry that took so long. So if anyone can think of some good jokes or something funny with any of those, go ahead and shoot us a message. And I do have a couple more things to mention before we get into the episode. But before I do you have anything you guys want to mention?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so
Not really.
So first, I just want to give a very big shout out and a happy birthday to our Australian wild girl, Sophie.
Oh, Sophie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Happy birthday. Hope it's a good one.
I think her name's Sophie, her middle name's King, and her last name's Cool.
Sophie King. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Do you remember that thing where they would write out the word I, then sofa, then King, then we, Todd, Ed? And so people would read it out loud, be like, I am so fucking retarded. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Also I want to mention, by the time you hear this, Sober October will be beginning almost. So this will be the episode right before Sober October.
Oh, I was about to ask
So-
that. Okay.
If everyone's going to be joining in with us for the entire month of October, our goal for ourselves and everyone who wants to partake to do 3 to 4 types of fitness or something working out, whether it's going on a walk, going on a run, lifting weights, just doing something like that 3 to 4 times a week for the month. And we have a text channel on our Discord if you want to just put some updates or just track stuff or just motivation, whatever. So I figured just something cool and positive to do.
I am.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to go rogue a little bit on that. I'll work out. I'm not gonna be running or nothing like that. But I know we all can't do this because it'd probably actually ruin the podcast. But I'm gonna not cuss the whole month, and this is not just something for the podcast. This is something I'm actually gonna do the entire month.
All right.
Wow.
And I'm actually
Wow.
gonna see
All right,
it,
Doof.
even at work, and I'm actually gonna see if I can catch myself and make a change.
Oh, shoot.
Wow.
I don't
I'll be there to console you on October 1st, too.
I'll be honest, I don't like this. What happened to the tooth that wanted to do blackface?
Oh, that's still happening.
Come on.
You know what? I've been
That's
thinking
still
more about
happening?
it. Oh yeah. Oh, it's
How
still
can you-
happening.
So you're not going to curse at all, but you can still do blackface? How the
Does
fuck-
Kanye curse in that video?
Look on the
Yes,
he
motherfucking
does.
Yes, he
glitch.
does.
Like the
Yes, he
motherfucking
fucking
glitch.
does, Doof. Yes, he does.
Then we have to film it now. Then
We have 4 days.
Sued. Oh,
you
man.
know what?
Or we can always
I'm
film
still
it in
gonna
November,
abstain
but
from
whatever.
cussing, but I have to do it for the skit, and that will be the only time.
So wait till November.
Dude, part
November
of me,
rain.
no FAP November, where none of us can whack off for the month. You really want to put that pressure on him, Spence?
Yeah, I'm not getting laid at all, dude. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's not happening. But
We already
Two,
lost, and it's
you
September.
would be proud of me because at the unnamed sandwich shop where I work, the manager.
It's been named in like 12 episodes.
No.
We have no idea where he works.
This is a
I am
different
not
one.
affiliated
It's
at
a
all
mystery.
I am not at all affiliated with Subway Incorporated. Anyway, bleep that out, Kevin. Bleep it out.
I will.
Anyway, the manager told us we could dress up for Halloween, and I straight up asked her, "Can I wear blackface?"
Oh, yes.
She's like, "No, that probably wouldn't be a good
What
idea."
if she was straight up like, well, you can't steal my costume?
She is from the South.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Song of the South.
The whole South. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit, the spider's just lowering down right in front of me. Die, you fucking spawn from hell.
Dude, I went maniac on the spiders and bugs here last week,
Hell yes.
where Timmy and I live. I fucking killed all the weeds and sprayed poison everywhere. And there were
Fuck yeah.
spiders and crickets like jumping everywhere, like fleeing the destruction.
I kind of like spiders, though. Like,
Yeah.
I
I'm
really
sorry, Timmy. I killed
Yeah.
them all.
I like
I
the
know, those-
spiders.
And the
live,
women
too.
and the children.
spiders.
They're like cannibals.
Fuck
Wait,
yeah,
wait,
dude.
wait. What did you do?
I killed them. I killed them all. And not just the men. But the whole time I was doing it, I was out there and I was thinking in my head, like, this is like bug Auschwitz.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
As
So you
I'm
took their gold teeth first?
Yeah, because they kept hiding it in the walls.
Oh my God.
So
But-
I
the,
kind of like spiders. Spiders have a purpose.
yeah, I like spiders. They kill all the other dumb shits.
Yeah.
Ants have a purpose too, which is to take over the goddamn fucking earth.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to let them do that.
Okay.
And since the spiders have been killing all the dumb shits in my house, this is a good time to say rest in peace, Father.
It's also the reason why I've been at Kevin's for a while. So,
It's like the motherfuckers won't let me in the door.
like, no, you come in here. We've been killing idiots. I'm like, I'm going home.
So the last thing I want to mention before we start the episode, our Patreon is up to 56 people. That's fucking
nice.
insane.
Holy
That's
shit.
super awesome.
Fuck, I don't even have that many friends.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know there were that many fools in the world.
Yeah, we are almost halfway to our goal of $500 a month, and when that goal happens, we made a promise to watch.
That we
Joe
will
Dirt
release
2.
the blackface video of Kanye
Yeah.
West.
No, yeah.
But we're gonna watch
Wait,
Joe
can
Dirt
we add
2.
that to that?
Oh,
It's
wow.
already made.
I'm cool with that. I haven't seen it, so
Fuck.
actually I'm in for a treat. I don't know about you guys.
All right, let's not. Let's like treats. Treats a strong word.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh.
buy Joe Dirt 2 if I can find a physical copy,
I have it,
and then-
Kev.
and then we'll all sign it and send it out to a listener.
Okay.
Wow,
But we don't have to watch it.
No, we gotta watch
Yeah, we
it.
got to.
And we all
Okay,
have
guys.
to.
You know what? Stop listening. Stop listening. Stop paying us. We don't want your fucking money.
We got to record one of those commentaries again like we did for Bicentennial Man that never got recorded.
Oh.
We could
Dude,
maybe we'll
it
do
was
that for
so
this.
fucking funny.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just like cut back on Toof saying the N word and like actually just record. Well, no, Toof's not gonna be cussing. We just need
Yeah.
to do it in October.
Can I be
Right.
honest? I had another nickname idea. I didn't say it because it's like a slur, so I'll probably edit this out. But it was Qui-Gon Engine.
Qui-Gon Engine Joe.
Why cut that out? Why cut that out?
Because so all right,
Leave
you
it
guys,
in.
we
It's
ready to
fucking
jump into this
amazing.
now?
Holy fuck, we're not.
I,
Wait
Yeah.
a minute, because now it's reminding me of fucking Tom and Huck. Remember that
Oh,
fucking
yes,
movie?
dude.
Well, yeah, but like that shit was like.
Fucking Ludwig read part of it out loud to the class, and he
Fuck
said it.
yeah, I'm sure he did.
That shit
I'm
was
sure he
racist.
did.
That shit was racist as fuck.
And we're Jim. We're like, oh my god, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it, and he did, and he said it so proud. Alrighty, I hope all you boys have some protection because we're about to take on somebody that was well known for hunting and killing those good fine boys,
Oh fuck.
just like you good
Wait,
fine
Jeffrey
boys.
Dahmer? We're finally doing the Dahmer episode?
Not yet, but we're getting something kind of close. Today, we travel all the way to Germany to take on the only person with more nicknames than the Brothers Commonplace. I'm
Steve
talking
Gutenberg.
about Steve Gutenberg, the serial killer. I think it's Friedrich Heinrich Karl Haarmann, better known as Friedrich, yes, better known as Fritz Haarmann, a.k.a. the Butcher of Hanover, a.k.a. the Vampire of Hanover, a.k.a. the Wolfman, a.k.a. the Werewolf, a.k.a. Alex Wright, the German.
Oh, fuck yes.
Oh my
Dude, I like
God.
how
Hell
he's
yes.
I like how he's a wolfman and a vampire.
Yeah.
No, he's just
He's
Alex,
literally all the Twilight movies.
But dude, in that video game WCW Thunder, like each guy had like a little intro thingy where usually they would say something funny, like Roddy
we know where you're
Piper
going.
would be like,
Yeah.
pick me. Alex Wright he just turns around.
Alex Wright,
He's like,
the
hey
German."
man, I'm Alex Wright, the German, and I think that's
Oh, yeah.
it.
What do you need something else?
Remember when his gimmick was just Berlin?
Oh, dude, it was the best. And his guy had
Was he-
And his like backup
he-
guy was the Wall, so it was like Berlin Wall.
Was he Prince Iakea too? Right?
No.
Okay.
Alex Wright was like the pale white dude
Yeah.
who just came
Which
out
one was
in
Prince
like a
Iakea?
fucking Speedo and a leather jacket.
Which one's Prince Iakea?
He became
He was
the
like-
artist formerly known as Prince Iakea or some
That's
dumb
what it was.
shit.
Prince,
Yeah.
Prince Akimaki is what Jericho used to call him.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, that shit was so fucking funny. I get all those like run together to me. Like all the WCW gimmicks just run together.
was he Hawaiian?
I don't think so.
Oh, he wasn't? Fuck. I'm picturing a Hawaiian dude in my head.
Well, I mean, his gimmick was Hawaiian, but I don't know if he was.
Oh my god, his real name was Mike.
Dude, I can imagine Vince McMahon be like, look at this fucking Mexican. Let's make him a Hawaiian.
So already our sources for this episode: Criminal Minds, Atlas Obscura, The Criminal Code, WickedWe.com, ButcherofHanover.weebly, FritzHarmanLaw.weebly, then of course the Wiki. So those are our main sources. I think the only thing from the Wiki we pull are some quotes though. But yeah, those are our main sources for this episode. And looking at a picture of this dude, he looks like kind of like an old school mobster. He's kind of badass looking. He sort of has like the Hitler mustache, but like a little bit wider. But yeah, our boy was born in the late 1800s, so we're going way back
Damn.
for this one.
It's almost, can you even trust anything that was written in the 1800s, though?
Not really, dude.
No, like the Gettysburg Address. That's all bullshit.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Yeah,
dude.
the Forgettysburg.
Oh, fuck.
the original Forgotten Freshness.
Hey, shots fired.
So here we go, Hanover, Germany. And real quick, just a fun random note, the rock band The Scorpions was formed in Hanover in 1965. I had
Fuck yeah.
no idea those boys were German. All right, moving on. Anyways, Hanover, Germany, October 25th, 1879, a poor
79 fever.
a poor family led by the father Ali and mother Johanna would have their sixth child, that of course being Friedrich Karl Haarmann. And we're just going to refer to him as Fritz from here on out.
Can we just call him Dan Harmon?
Yeah, I was thinking that like the whole time.
I don't know if he's drunk enough.
Right. Doesn't play enough D&D.
But yeah, so Fritz is born October 25th, 1879, and he and his family were super dirt poor. And growing up, he had very few friends, and he was a quiet kid that didn't really hang out or socialize with the other kids, so most of his social life involved him hanging out with his other siblings.
Yeah, but that's just because Andrew really liked Pokemon Yellow a lot.
Dude, so
Wait, who didn't? Or are there people that didn't like that?
this just kind of reminded me when I was working as a chat specialist, and this was in Florida, right when Pokemon Go was becoming really popular. But I remember one of the people who was like a team leader or in charge or something, I remember getting a standing ovation for saying this because everyone was doing Pokemon Go. So whenever anyone's on break or anything, they're walking around doing it. And she's like, I understand that you all want to catch them all, but let's not forget we need to chat them all. And then I swear to God, people cheered and stood up.
Oh my God! Wait, was this Hillary? Was this Hillary Clinton?
It
was
really
Hillary
is.
Clinton working there?
Yeah. Was that Hillary Clinton?
Pretty much. But let's not forget we have to first chat them all.
God, dude.
No, I was gonna say have all the people against her suspiciously committed suicide.
Yeah. And which job in Florida was this?
When I was doing like tech support, but I was like a chat thingy pretty much. Yeah, so Fritz and his family, they're super poor. Fritz has no social life really, just hanging out with his siblings. He's pretty quiet and kind of awkward. And Fritz, he really looked up to his mother rather than his father.
Well, because she was really tall.
Fuck off, dude. And his
Had to be
father,
said.
his father sounds like he was just a huge asshole. He was a railroad fireman, and he was also known to enjoy frequent visits to the bar and was also a well-known womanizer. So Fritz, instead of looking up to his father, he was a mama's boy instead. Even though she was said to have been domineering, she babied him and catered to him like way more than she probably should have. Unfortunately, though, for Fritz, his mother was sick for most of her life. I don't know if it was because of her pregnancy with him or what exactly, but most of her life after having him, she was bedridden. So that kind of sucks.
We do a lot of podcasts where like the mom's bedridden.
Yeah.
It's like freaking the beginning of Willy Wonka.
But with way better soup.
hey, but with way better tits.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just quoting Saving Silverman. Kev knows.
She's like the emperor. Yeah, but with way better tits. The emperor's tits. The emperor's new tits. So since his mother was always babying him and catering to him, that might lead into why he ended up being a more of a feminine boy. Like he was said to have a feminine personality. And since his mother was the one that he connected with the most, he also didn't enjoy the typical boy activities such as sports and, I don't know, pogs. Instead,
Sports.
Instead, he enjoyed playing with his sister's dolls and dressing up as well.
All right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Not gonna lie, like dolls are fun though. Like I play with dolls. Dolls
They
are fun.
And like my dad said that his father, my grandpa, considered like G.I. Joes to be dolls.
Oh, get the
and my
fuck outta
son's
here.
not gonna play with dolls.
Well, the old ones were pretty much the exact same thing, except they had fucking guns and shit, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
He's shipping like, oh, so Dad, are all soldiers gay? Because they can stick a rifle in their ass, and that could be considered a dildo.
Yeah, I'll prove it.
Wait,
Is
is that
this-
happening on the battlefield like a lot?
They just, instead
You
of
don't know how
bayonets,
lonely
they
it
have,
is on the battlefield.
their bayonets are all dildos. Like, yeah, is this fruity, Dad? Huh? Is that fruity?
Because I'm gonna fuck the enemy. I'm gonna fuck him good.
It's like, yeah,
If I catch him, I'm gonna fuck him.
the whole army, the whole military squad is just fucking all the enemies. And the sergeant's like, wait, what the hell's going on? He's like, I told you to fuck them up. And like, oh, up.
They're like, oh, whoops.
We just heard fuck them.
And that's when I was honorary discharged. But you know, whatever.
Yeah,
let's stop talking about me, guys.
Honorary.
They
that's
all
still
had some
honored you.
honorary
Yeah.
discharged.
Yeah. Let's stop talking about me, guys.
Honorary discharge.
So in regards to Fritz enjoying dressing up, he had this to say, quote, my daddy, he just sold me because I wear my sister's clothes. He caught me in the bathroom with a pair of pantyhose. Dude, you want to know a funny story about that? In like
What?
4th grade on the bus, I was like singing that Cheech and Chong song, and this high schooler was like, what are you talking about, man? And I was like, oh, my dad, he disowned me because I was wearing my sister's clothes. And like the next day I got on the bus, him and another kid, he's like, dude, that's him. That's the one I was telling you about. The one
Oh my God.
his dad.
Fuck yes.
He's like, his dad walked in on him. He was wearing his sister's panties and shit.
Fuck yes.
He made fun of
Hell
me.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
My daddy, he disowned me cause I wear my sister's clothes. He caught me in the bathroom with a pair of pantyhose. My basketball coach, he done kicked me off the team.
So here is a real quote, and this is from Criminal Code on Fritz as a child. Quote, Ali, which was his father, was described as cantankerous and cold toward the family, while Johanna babied young Fritz to the point of embarrassment. In fact, Johanna treated Fritz nearly identical to his sisters, to the point that she encouraged him to play with dolls and dress in his sister's clothes. She also taught him to cook and do needlepoint.
Well, Johanna means leave no family behind.
Ohana means family.
Oh,
Family
fuck
means
yeah, dude.
no one gets left behind.
I'm glad everybody knew what the fuck I was talking
A
about.
long time ago on Fago's website, they had like, if you know what Ohana means, you can win a free like bottle of Fago. And it was like A, B,
Like
C, or D.
everybody knew?
And I was like, it's family. And they fucking never sent me the Fago. So, Fago, what the hell, man?
Yeah, I mean, they're like, well, it's 11 cents if you just go get it. So fuck you.
It's going to cost us more than it's worth to send you this.
Like like if you bought a Polar Pop with $1, the rest of your change is enough to get a Fago. You're fine.
I'm just gonna do it because I'm proud of it. Ohana means family.
Holy shit.
Fuck.
That was
Nice.
awesome, dude.
Can you
good.
say little Dutch buggy?
Oh, I don't know anything else. He says that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Little Dutch buggy.
He also has a line where he says something about how he finally tasted brown sugar. So,
How come you taste so good?
so here is another quote on Fritz's childhood. Quote, he also had sadistic tendencies in which he would tie up his sisters and also tap windows during the nighttime to cause rumors of supernatural creatures that roam about in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause that's
Hashtag
normal.
wild, man.
Yeah, all that's normal.
Dude,
We've all
is this
done
guy
that.
the fucking first juggalo? I'm outside your window. Tap, tap. I see a gummy bear on the table. You gonna eat that?
Oh my God, yes, dude. I thought you were going with, I'm outside of your window.
With my juggalo.
Oh my God, they look out and he's painted up like Shaggy.
But he's holding Andrew.
He's holding it. He's holding that Fago they never sent me.
Dude, he's holding a lantern, but it's like Andrew's head like the Fiend.
Oh, fuck yeah. Hell yes.
In 1886, at the age of 6 or 7, Fritz began going to school. His teacher stated that he wasn't like a bad kid or anything. Like, he had good behavior. He paid attention, it seemed. But his grades were real shitty, and he seemed to have no motivation whatsoever. And this would result in him having to repeat a grade over again. I'm not sure what grade, but they said he had to repeat a grade.
Fuck, there
So
was
it's like-
there was grades in the 1800s?
Yeah, I was just
I
gonna
thought it was like
that.
fucking like Amish people. Like, hey, just
This
sit
dude
here and learn what 1 + 1 is.
Fuck,
Learn
like-
how the plow
like,
works,
I
because
was-
that's all you'll ever
I
know.
was born in 1986, so he's 170 years younger than me. But there were grades then?
Like, the alphabet isn't finished yet, so an A you pass, a B you fail.
We're just going to give that to you randomly if we don't like you.
The thing about Fritz, though, was that after he did finally graduate and he became a teacher, he gave really awesome field trips.
Oh my God, it's Frizzle? Is this
Oh, fuck yes,
Oh,
dude.
fuck yeah, it was.
Take
Magic
chances
school
and
bus.
make mistakes.
And get messy.
God, dude, that should be Trojan's fucking slogan.
Holy shit.
Well, we'll see
Wait,
if this Fritz is going to make any mistakes.
if he end up on the Magic School Bus, is it #Wildman?
Well, yeah.
If he does, yeah.
We don't know. We don't know the rest of the story.
If he's not Arnold.
Oh my God, that fucking loser. He was just a Burger King Kids Club guy. That's all he was. So as Fritz started getting older, I'm not sure exactly how this happened or what, but he and his father, they pretty much hated each other their whole lives. But somehow Fritz learned that his father at some point had murdered a train driver. So whenever they got in fights or arguments, Fritz would always threaten that he would tell the police about this. So that's...
Wait, if he murdered a train driver, then who runs the train?
Okay.
Was
This
it
is just-
was it Derek Rose?
Yeah, just don't. If you steal his dildo, make sure you return it.
Wait, what?
That was one of the parts of the fucking case. He was like pissed that like they like stole a dildo or something. Didn't
Derek-
return his dildo.
Derek Rose had a dildo for the girl.
Yeah,
I didn't
dude.
know that, dude. That's oh my
I mean,
god.
he was probably too injured to do it.
Man.
What if
Yeah.
he used it as a fucking crutch?
Oh no, This is the headline I'm reading. In August, I mean, this was obviously back in like 2015 or something.
Yeah.
Where is it at? Let me go ahead and find on page dildo. Derek Rose's girlfriend who claimed rape was mad she wasn't reimbursed for dildo in orgy. So it was the girl. She was mad that I guess Derek Rose stole the dildo or something. I don't know.
Well,
Dude,
that's mean of him.
What if that is what like helped his career?
She wanted to be
MVP.
reimbursed for that.
Like he ended up getting better. What if it's because of the dildo?
Dildo, dude. He shoved it in his ass before each game. So I think it was a combination of Fritz's shitty relationship with his father as well as the mix of his shitty grades that when Fritz became 16 years old, he was sent away to military school. Quote, while at first he did well at, I don't know how to pronounce this, New Breich, that's probably not even close, but when he first did well there in April of 1895, Fritz eventually began having serious problems. He was noted to be performing in exercises when suddenly he would lose consciousness. Eventually, he suffered full-on seizures too. The military school had little choice but to discharge teenage Fritz back to his family in Hanover.
They knew what seizures were back then? So I feel like back then it's like, hey, guys, this guy's just laying there doing things.
Like, didn't they think he had like demons
Like,
or
yeah,
something?
yeah, you would think it would like be like a witch type stuff. Like, I'm surprised they didn't pour gasoline on him, just light the motherfucker on fire.
Right?
true.
If they even had gasoline back then.
So I think that he actually did well for the first year as a soldier, and he was also said to have been a decent gymnast, but he just have started blacking out and having seizures, so that kind of fucked this whole situation for him. So now it's 1896, and he is 16 years old or 17 years old, and he's back in Hanover. Good news, though, he found a job working at a cigar factory. Some sources say it was his father's cigar factory. Some just say a cigar factory, so I'm not positive on this one.
Some say it was Bill Clinton's cigar factory.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yes.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Bill Clinton's cigar factory is Monica Lewinsky's pussy.
Fuck yeah, baby. Oh, I'm so jealous of Monica. I wish I could have fucking
You wish you
Clintons.
were Monica.
Dude,
I do.
fuck that. Because, dude, he was a great president. Just let him get his fucking dick sucked.
For real, dude. Let him fucking put cigars in pussies, dude.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Would you
Do
rather
it.
have a president that puts cigars in pussies or one that just grabs the girl by the pussies?
Yeah, there you go.
So, you know?
Hey,
Yeah, there's
We've got both now, so we're good.
we have no proof of that.
clearly there's no other choices either. It's one of those.
Dude, the fucking Home Alone thing. Straight over there and grab right in the pussy.
Well, or Kev, you could have a president who is a pussy, and I'm talking about you, George W.
Oh, shit. I thought you were about to talk about my boy Ralph Nader.
I thought you were going to say Jimmy Carter, too.
Hey, I'm not talking about one who smells like a pussy.
Fuck.
I remember his song, though. He's like, my name is Jimmy Carter.
Oh my God,
I
this is
run
real.
for president. Yeah, when he was running, that was the song that was out.
What about when Jimmy Carter changed his middle name to Aaron?
I heard a young man speaking out just the other day. So I stopped to take a listen to what he had to say. He spoke straight and simple. By that I was impressed. He said, once and for all, why not the best? He said his name was Jimmy Carter, and he was running for president. Then he laid out a plan of action that made a lot of sense. He talked about the government and how good it could be for you and me. Oh, that's the way it ought to be right now. Once and for all, why not the best?
I want to see us once again have a nation.
So that's about all we have as far as Fritz at 16 years old or so. Oh, wait, no, I do have one small minor note here, actually. Also at the age of 16, Fritz would lure other boys to secluded areas like alleys or cellars, and then he would sexually molest and abuse them. So I forgot about that minor
Damn it,
note
I
right
thought
there.
you were fucking making that up.
Nope, that's true.
Uh,
So
Interesting.
Hashtag Mel Hall.
Mel Hall of Fame
Yeah.
on that one. The original
Those
Mel Hall.
bicycle kicks, man.
The German Mel Hall. He would then get arrested for these horrible acts. And this next part is a little bit confusing because I've seen completely different information on this. And that is one thing about this guy, Fritz, is everything leads to the same spot, but you'll get different sources saying different things. So it's like different details, but they all end up in the same place. But for this one, quote, sometime in 1898, he was arrested for molesting several children, but was deemed psychologically unfit to stand trial and was sentenced to a mental institution. 6 months into his stay, Fritz escaped and sought shelter in Switzerland before returning to Germany at the age of 20. And we actually have a small recorded bit of audio right here from him in jail while they were trying to figure out if he was actually innocent or guilty.
From what fucking year?
And there's actually a guitar in there as well. So they're like, well, we'll just leave him in here and see if we can get any clues to figure out whether or not he's innocent or guilty of this. This is all just made up because I fucking recorded something stupid.
I figured it. Yeah, I love it though.
It's not funny at all. So I'm just going to upload this to the chat and you guys can just listen to it. It's so stupid. It's not funny. It's just Wonderwall, but it's just lines about him raping a kid.
Today was gonna be the day I was gonna molest that kid. By now you should have somehow realized that I raped that kid. And I don't believe that anybody wouldn't have raped that kid. I hate my dad.
And another version of this story just states that he was arrested in 1897, but he was deemed unfit for trial, so they just let him go. That's one version, which I don't know if they would just do that, but...
How are you unfit for trial?
Back then, how are you unfit for trial? Was he not wearing the right shirt?
What is that? Is that a tuxedo t-shirt? Hey, what is that, a peach fruit roll-up?
Get the fuck out of here. Is that a peach fruit roll-up? You don't see many.
And then another version, which is from Criminal Code, quote, when the accusations mounted and Fritz was finally named by multiple victims, he was promptly shipped off to a mental asylum. It occurred shortly after his 18th birthday. The treatment of the asylum was something that Fritz would never forget, and he spoke of it as though it was sheer torture, though it is ultimately unknown what happened to him there. What is known is that the security at the asylum was lax and he escaped, only to return to Hanover by the time he was 20. So all the sources, one way or another, he either goes to a mental asylum or he doesn't. Somehow he escapes. Some sources say that his mother somehow aided in his escape, but eventually he will live with a relative in Switzerland, and then by the age of 20, he's back in Hanover. Yes, so the sources all list different things, but it all ends with him coming back to Hanover when he's around the age of 20. And also at the age of 20, he would soon find himself either married or engaged. Whether or not this was an attempt for him to start over or maybe to achieve like a normal life or just maybe get married so he can fly below the radar, we don't know. But he does end up marrying a fat woman by the name of Erna Lowert.
Man, why'd you have to mention that she was fat?
Because her name's Erna. Her name's fucking Erna.
That's true.
Before people get upset or angry that I describe her as a fat woman, a lot of the sources go out of their way to mention that she's a fat woman, or they say a large, pretty woman. So they do mention she's pretty.
1800s. You know that Erna is taking selfies that are just the face only, like just the chin up.
Oh yeah, for sure. And there's some Snapchat filters in that bitch.
For sure.
For fucking
She's
sure.
got the rosy cheeks and the little the glowy sparklies on her hair.
Like Erna Erna is up there with fucking Mucklow.
And she'll say things like, "The name's Erna, and you got to be 6 foot to Erna this pussy."
The name is Erna. The logic is erratic.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Erna and Mucklow are fucking best friends. I'll tell you that shit right now.
Yes, I would love to see them hook up.
So she had rosy cheeks. What did she have? Fetal alcohol syndrome?
So they might only be engaged and not married. Sources differ on this one. But good news, his parents seem to be happy about this. which I don't want to offend anyone by the reasoning, but I'm guessing it's probably because they're like, well, at least we know he's not gay.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I think back then.
I mean, dude, it's 1800s. That's really probably what it was.
Because he was real feminine, and I mean, he was also molesting kids.
Yeah. Back then, there was only 2 bathrooms, so yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah, there were only 2 holes in the ground.
What if instead of a fat woman, he's like, I ran away with a voodoo woman named Erna.
Dude, speaking of holes in the ground,
his son Bobby was pissed off.
I went to my mom took us to Mount Vernon, like not the city in Ohio, but the plantation that George Washington owned. And the outhouse was built for like 4 people. There's you go inside the building and there's like a big long bench, and the bench has like 4 sitting holes.
That sucks.
To sit in at once.
There are people that are brave enough to just start shitting in those.
You go in there and you sit down with like 4 other people in there with you at the same time in the whole place.
Well, Toof used to do this thing at McDonald's. We've told stories about Toof at this McDonald's that our friend worked at. But it'd be like 3 a.m. and
God.
We would just go to this McDonald's, and Toof made it his mission to fucking wreck the place. Like, he would just go in the bathroom, literally just whip his dick out and piss in all directions, and would just piss in the trash cans, everything.
I would literally stand in the middle of the floor and just start pissing all over the stall doors, the sinks, the mirrors, everything. Piss all over. I'd literally just like helicopter spin in the bathroom and piss on everything.
He's such an asshole. Sorry, so back to Fritz. Good news, Fritz is, like we said, engaged or married. And even better news, big ol' Erna is pregnant. And even better news than that, Fritz leaves Erna and his unborn child so that he can enlist in the military again.
What?
Hashtag Wildman.
Hashtag Wildman.
At least he can support them.
There's something pretty funny about him joining the military that we'll get to again. And the details on this are a little bit shisty. Some sources say that he was recalled. Some say that since he was already in military school and then honorary discharge, that he had to get an alias to enroll. So I'm not sure, but that's pretty funny if he's like, fuck, I'm married to this big girl. She's pregnant with my kid. So he gets a fake alias to join the military.
Get the fuck out of here.
Here's a quote. However, on October of 1901, all of that abruptly ended when he collapsed during an exercise and was diagnosed as having an unspecified mental deficiency. As a result, he was discharged and once again sent back to live with his family. So it's like every time he does something, he fucking like blacks out or has like a seizure and then has to go live with his mom and dad again.
This guy does a lot of discharging.
Yes, he does, unfortunately.
Honestly, the way his wife was described, you think she would be the one who passed out after an exercise.
Oh, come on, dude.
Fuck yes.
Almost immediately after arriving back home, he started working for his father, which didn't go well, and that would lead to an argument and a violent fight between the two, which then leads to his father calling the authorities on Fritz and trying to get him recommitted to an asylum. And that seems like something that happens. Like, his dad hates him so much that his dad is like always trying to get Fritz like recommitted to an asylum, it seems. And then Fritz, he would be arrested and charged with assault, then being sent away for psychiatric evaluation, which turns out that Fritz, he actually seems pretty okay now. And they're like, well, I don't think anything's really wrong with you. So once again, he is sent back to live with his family again.
Okay. Oh, man.
Yeah. And there's a lot of conflicting information on this dude, so this might not all be 100% because some sources claim that he's still with his wife/fiance at this point. Some don't mention a fight with his father. It's all over the place. But like we said, it always ends up at the same spot. But the wiki and some other sources say that after he was released from the military once again, he came back and borrowed money from his father so that he and his wife Erna could open up a fish shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
He's like, hey, your pussy smells like it. Might as well open shit up.
But either way, he does have a military pension, so he does get some money each month, like not a lot. But in one version of the story, Fritz, not knowing exactly what to do, he attempts to open up some sort of a small shop on his own, but that business would quickly become bankrupt. And then in another version of the story, him and Irma open the fish shop, and also at the same time, Fritz is doing like insurance stuff. He's like an insurance salesman. But in this version, Irma is still pregnant, which would have been after he left for a year in the military. And then while pregnant, Fritz accuses her of having an affair, and so Irma ends the relationship. And then since Irma is the one who owns the shop, Fritz is just fish out of luck.
Oh,
it's a fish shop. Because it's a fish shop.
Yeah, I like that. Great pun.
Like I said, it's like 3 or 4 different stories, but it all ends with him and a business going bankrupt. But once again, regardless of which story is true, we end up in the same spot. It is the early 1900s, possibly 1904. And now Fritz is living alone. His family, wife, and child are all gone. His business went to shit, and he has nothing.
Man, I'm thinking he's one of those elves that lives in Windhelm. That's like discriminated against all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Living in the down, like you have to walk down the stairs to get to their place.
Yes.
So dark. And then Fritz, he has himself an interesting decade or two. He begins committing crimes, so fuck yeah, dude. We like crimes here.
Yeah, we love them. Hashtag wild man.
We fucking love crimes here, guys.
Crime.
Mostly small crimes, though. So he's doing like petty theft, burglaries, scams, smuggling, con jobs. And most of those all result in him getting thrown in jail. So he's constantly in jail during these next 2 decades. And he would spend like several years total in jail because of all these. But it actually works out for him a little bit because he's in jail so fucking much that the police actually start to take a little bit of a liking to him since they see him so much. And he ends up becoming an informant for them.
Oh my God, that's fucking... Hashtag wild man.
I mean, this
This
is also early police because like their informant before that was a squirrel. So
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, dude.
I mean, it's still an upgrade.
And then later he'll be followed by the greatest informant of all time, 6969.
Oh, yes, dude.
Yeah, a little later.
Toof, you can sing the Informer song better than me, by the way.
Wait, what's that?
I was trying to sing the Informer by Snow, and I know that you're the master at that.
Oh,
yeah,
shit,
yes.
too. Can we get a little taste of Informer?
Come with a nice young lady, intelligent, yeah, she gentle and airy.
Wait, we don't get whip down me pants, look up me bottom.
Spence has it, dude. Pull that one
Yeah,
out
you
of
got
nowhere.
it, dude.
So now we come to 1918, skipping forward some years. But don't be fooled because during that entire time, he was in and out of jail, being an informant, a piece of shit. He's also molesting and sexually assaulting boys, all the normal commonplace behavior.
Oh yeah.
And since most of his victims
Wait,
have been
commonplace behavior.
Yeah, like Brothers Commonplace. You know.
Well, yeah, we do that all the time.
That's how we met. And oh shit, you guys are
doing
into
it
that
to
too?
each other.
And since most of his victims of being sexually assaulted were younger men and boys, they mostly felt ashamed or embarrassed, so that's why they didn't ever contact the police about this. But 1918, this is the year that the First World War, or the Great War, was ending, leaving Germany in poverty, and the country was pretty much bankrupt after losing the war. So what was Fritz to do? How was he to proceed?
What am I do? How am I proceed? And I look over. She's eating a strawberry Pop-Tart.
Yeah, I put that line in for you, Timmy.
I love it.
Can't hardly wait. So what the hell was Fritz to do? Well, we will learn soon about a business that he had going. And also along the way sometime, he met a man by the name of Hans Grans.
But wait, what was the guy's name?
Didn't we do a podcast on this guy?
Hans Grans.
Is that a fucking Starbucks coffee?
So not only is it a super...
Who was the Hans we did a podcast on?
No, we did one on, what was the Dungeon Dad?
Like Hans Grubel or something?
No,
like
it's Fritzer.
Fuck.
Hans
He was Fritz.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hans Grubel.
that? Something like that.
Yeah, what was Dungeon Dad's name? It was
I can't
Fritz
remember.
something?
Yeah, something
Fritz,
Fritzl.
Oh, Josef Fritzl. But Hans Grans, not only is this a badass name, but the dude was an absolute fucking hunk. Like, I saw a picture of him. He is one handsome lad, this guy, this Hans Grans. So Fritz and him, they became good friends, possibly lovers, but you didn't hear that from me, Jeremiah. So it's no doubt that Fritz, he'd been dealing with repressed homosexuality. He does have this boyfriend now, or male lover, whatever he is, we don't really know. But unfortunately, having Hans Grans as a close friend would not stop Fritz from doing what he did for the next 6 years.
Oh, shit.
Which was murdering.
Oh, okay.
That's right. This motherfucker killed at least 24 people, possibly even 27 total. And Fritz was definitely a predator that liked to take advantage of his victims, most of those being young boys between the ages of 10 and 14.
Wait,
damn.
How many did he, up to 27 people?
Yes.
Dude, that is fucking crazy. Because if he just would have killed 30 more, they would have named a ketchup after him. Heinz 57.
Oh my God, dude. Jesus Christ.
Fuck yeah.
Jesus.
That's so good.
But Fritz, he wouldn't just pick out any old boys. He liked to find runaway kids, or those that were looking for a place to stay, something to eat, or those that seemed alone at train stations. So Fritz, he would go up to them, he would be friendly, and he would offer them a room and a hot meal. And most, if not all of these kids were like, oh, hell yeah, I have nowhere to go, I have no money, no food. Finally, I'm catching a lucky break with this nice man. So a lot of Fritz's victims were also young male prostitutes that he would find and meet hanging around the train stations. His first victim was a little on the older side for him, though, that being a 17-year-old lad by the name of Friedel Roth.
No, Freedom Rock.
Oh, fuck, Tim. Shit, dude. Fuck yes.
I mean, come on, guys. I'm just trying to be fucking precise in the podcast, guys. Sorry.
But there were witnesses to the disappearance of Friedel, though. Many people, including Friedel's friends, saw him leaving with Fritz. God, that's fucking tough to say. Friedel, though, many people, including Friedel's friends, saw him leaving with Fritz, eating Frito-Lay. So the police, they go to Fritz's one-room apartment and take a guess what they found.
Salsa.
Wait, what did Will Friedel do?
Oh,
He
no.
didn't do nothing. He didn't do shit.
A werewolf.
Did he find the Derrick Rose dildo?
So the police, they go to Fritz's house, his one-room apartment, and what do you think they found here?
Salsa. It was salsa.
Salsa? That's a good guess.
Did he have a altar built of human skulls that he masturbated to?
Close.
All right, you're going to call me out? You're going to call me out in front of everybody, Spence?
That's what Jeffrey Dahmer had.
What about you two?
He would jerk off in the eye sockets.
Yeah, he's got
Where was
some-
it at? It was in the basement?
No, he had a one-room apartment, and the police go to his house to speak to him about the disappearance of Friedel.
He had a living slave chained up to the wall.
Well, the police show up, and they find Fritz there in the middle of sling and dong with a half-naked 13-year-old boy in his bed.
Oh.
So the police, they then arrest him once again. However, they never search his home.
Okay,
Well, you probably should have done that, guys.
What? I mean, this is the 1800s. They don't give a fuck.
So he serves 9 months for sexual assault and then would be released back into the wild like a Pokemon that was no longer needed. Be gone, Rattata, you screwy little rodent guy.
Wait, sexual assault was a real category back in the 1800s?
I don't know if it was called that, but
Yeah, probably not. They're like
Yeah.
life.
yeah, because like serial killer wasn't even close to being a term.
Has anybody watched the second season of Mindhunter? 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't. Is it good?
Real good, real good.
Oh, I need to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't.
The guy that
I
plays
didn't even finish the first
Manson
season.
is also the guy who played Manson in the Tarantino movie. I heard it's awesome. Once Upon a Time, is that what it is?
Wait, so Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's about Manson?
Well, it's
Yeah,
during that
it's about
time.
Sharon Tate
Oh.
and shit.
I did not know that at all. That's cool. That makes me want to watch it now.
They got the real Bruce Lee to be in it.
Yeah, they actually got the real Sharon Tate to be in it too. That's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So
they brought her back like the guy, the general guy from Star Wars in Rogue One.
oh my god, no, Grandma something.
Grandma Tarkin or whatever.
Yeah, is that Grandma Tarkin?
I don't want to be
I
Grandma
thought at first you were
Tarkin.
saying Grandma, like Grandma Tarkin.
I don't want to be Grandma Tarkin.
Grandma Tarkin, are you gonna make us some cookies?
Yeah, fine. You're both kiss dolls.
Oh,
I'm
more
still
can't
going
hardly
to-
wait.
I'm still going to can't hardly wait.
Yeah, I was laughing at both because that was good.
Grandma Tarkin just makes Death Star shaped cookies.
and sweaters. So even though Fritz is put in jail for 9 months for this, there is some good news for him. They completely let him off the hook for being a suspect in the murder of Friedland. Was that his name, Friedland? Why do I feel like I fucked that name up?
'Cause I'm free, man.
It's Friedel. I think I put
Oh.
Fried. I don't know why I put Friedland.
Friedland.
Close enough.
Yeah. So some good news for Fritz. They completely let him off the hook for being a suspect in the murder of Friedel. Since I believe Fritz is actually still a police informant, so they kind of just give him a little slap on the wrist, and then they say, you get out of here now. And this is actually the moment, I believe, when Fritz became involved with Hans Grans. Like, I think it's actually after this event, but I'm not 100% sure. But then the two move in together, so him and Hans Grans are more than just Franz.
Oh,
than
fuck
just-
yeah. Hell
I
yes.
saw what you did there.
And I also do believe that Fritz was back to being an informant again, even after all this. But this is when he really starts to ramp up his fucking crimes. So he's already gotten away with one murder, and now he had a thirst for more. A bloodthirst for more, if you will. Because after all, this is the vampire of Hanover we're talking about. And you're probably wondering how we got that name. Well, after tricking and luring young boys back to his home, sometimes by pretending to be a police officer, this is really fucked up. He would do his normal tricks, such as the promise of food, water, and a place to stay. And then after getting them in his home, he would begin to seduce them. And then he would kiss their neck and give them a little, quote, love bite, as he liked to call it, where he would fucking bite their throats like a fucking monster. This bite
Christ.
was so vicious that they would die from it. Like, he would literally
Jesus
bite their
Christ.
throats out.
That sucks. And also, like, I feel like I wasted my Hans Gruber joke.
That's not even the worst part. Sometimes while doing that love bite, he was also sodomizing him.
Oh, goddamn. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Wow.
Fucking shitballs.
baby.
That takes dedication.
Love bite, baby. Love bite. Bite a little harder, baby. That's not funny. That's no, that's fucked up. But I know we're making jokes about this, but this is completely fucked up and disgusting. Here's a quote from Criminal Code on the love bite. Quote, then, quite barbarically, he would employ his love bite, a swift and fatal mouthful of their Adam's apple, crushing their trachea. This generally resulted in death from asphyxiation, but at times the love bite was so brutal that Fritz completely severed the flesh with his teeth, causing the victim to bleed out. How fucking...
Like, it's basically just fucking eating their neck.
Yeah, so that's how he gets the Butcher of Hanover, Vampire of Hanover, Werewolf of Hanover.
Wait, but what about the Wolfman?
The Wolfman, yeah. Here's a quote from Fritz on the love bite. Quote, I never intended to hurt those youngsters,
What?
but I knew that if I got going, something would happen, and that made me cry. I would throw myself on top of those boys and bite through their Adam's apple, throttling them at the same time. Fritz, he would do this for years. So not everyone he murdered, he did this to, but I think like more than half, which is like 12, 14. He did it to a lot of boys. And it wasn't until 1924 when he would be stopped. And so during that time, he killed at least 27 boys and young men. And Fritz, this asshole, him and Hans Grans would take what little possession these boys had on them, and they would sell the shit.
Oh, yeah.
Quote, the vampire, as he became called, was known to then distribute the victim's possessions between friends and acquaintances as gifts or sell them on the black market, and would discard their bodies in the nearby Lane River.
Man.
Yeah, that's some cold shit.
Man.
So Hans Grans, he knew about the murders and shit going on. He was living with Fritz, so I don't think that Fritz could have kept all this a secret at all. One source does claim that when Fritz was killing his second victim, whom was also named Fritz, that Franz had come home and witnessed the act and then became part of this whole thing. Although I don't know if he ever became part of the murders or not, but he did help sell and distribute the items and possessions that these boys had. But like most of them were like runaways and homeless, so they couldn't have had that much shit. Here's a quote from Wicked Wee on Hans. Quote, his accomplice and live-in partner, Hans Grans, sold possessions of several of the victims cheaply on the black market and kept other possessions for himself. And Fritz initially claimed that although Grans knew of many of his murders and personally urged him to kill 2 of the victims so he could obtain their clothing and personal possessions, he was otherwise not involved in the murders. So I don't know if that means he did do some shit. Like, he said he personally urged him to kill 2 of the victims. I don't know if he did or what. I mean, he's involved to some extent. He has to be. We just don't know
absolutely.
what.
He was probably just there, just like egging it on.
So after Fritz lured the boys to his place, then raped and assaulted them, bit their throats out and robbed them, he would then bless you, Toof. He would then dismember the bodies.
No, Kev, this is German. Gesundheit.
Oh, Gesundheit.
Oh, hell yes.
Salut for our Spanish listeners. So after Fritz lured the boys to his house, raped and assaulted them, bit their throats out and robbed them, he would then dismember the bodies and toss them into the river. Now, this next part wasn't proven true, although a lot of sources claim that it is true, including the True TV Crime Library, but it is heavily believed by some that after dismembering the bodies of the boys, Fritz would take the meat from the bodies of his victims, can it up, and sell it as black market pork.
Fuck yeah.
What?
Holy fuck.
How corroborated is that?
So,
Jesus Christ.
whether or not that's 100% true, we don't actually know. Some sources, most sources mention we don't know if it's true, but some will straight up say he did it.
I feel like that's urban legend, but I also want it to be true.
I have a question, though. How do you know how to can something?
Yeah.
I don't know how to can something.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know how to do that.
Because that's the first step in the whole process.
Yeah, I don't fucking know how to do. How did he know that? I don't even know how they do that now.
Man, I know when the communists took over Russia that there was like a whole market of like human meat,
And
as they started starving from communism.
Hey, sign me up.
like if I'm trying to buy, like, okay, if I'm part of the black market or however, I guess, if someone's like, hey, yeah, I'm selling pork, but they're selling it on the black market, like, you got to know it's just not
That's
fucking
a human.
pork.
That's
like,
a fucking
why can't
human.
you just sell
Yeah.
that shit?
Motherfucker, I know that's not pork.
Yeah, that's definitely human.
And another fucked up thing, for the 6 or so years that Fritz was killing these boys, all the murders went unnoticed, except for like the first one, but they really didn't sound like they really tried to find out who did it, honestly. But yeah, so for those 6 years, 24 to 27 to 30 or so murders, however many there were, all of those unnoticed until May of 1924, when people started realizing that a bunch of bones were washing up downstream in the Lean River. So Fritz, what he would do is he would chop the bodies up and toss them in the river. So eventually they had to show up, and that they did. They found over 500 human bones, which would later be found out to have been from the bodies of 22 different victims. And there's pictures. There's like leg bones and shit. Like 500 human bones were just like washing up on the bank down here.
I was going to say, they found these bodies, or these bones, when?
In 1924.
Okay, so this is before the Great Depression.
Right around there,
Like
yeah.
just before.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
just before. That was 1929 was the Great Depression.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because if this happened then, like, they wouldn't be investigating. They'd just be like, okay, less people that are going to eat our food. So if this would have happened just like a little bit later, like, then it would have made sense.
And immediately they're like, well, I think we know who did this. Like, well, who could have done it? Someone that was capable of cutting up all these bodies. It must have been Bonesaw.
Oh, yeah.
I got you for 3 minutes. So the public, they became outraged and filled with horror and terror. And now the city of Hanover had a vampire or werewolf on their hands, or as the newspaper would dub him, the Butcher of Hanover. The last victim was a 17-year-old boy by the name of Eric de Vries, or Vries, Eric.
I was like, what university did he go to?
DeVry.
And police, for this one, police were conducting a huge manhunt because they're like, well, we know about a serial killer now, although they didn't have the term serial killer. But they're like, well, there's going to be a big manhunt because there's all these bodies that have been showing up. We have a missing boy. We're going to find out who's responsible for this. But as like many serial killers in the past that like to get close to the police and keep a relationship going on with them, it is believed that maybe Fritz would speak a little bit too much about the murders or possibly because the police started thinking that something was up with him, like something's not adding up. He's pretty fucking weird. And quote, suspicion quickly fell upon Fritz, who had convictions of molesting children and had been connected to the disappearance of Friedel Roth in 1918. So the police are kind of like, all right, let's keep a closer eye on this dude just in case. And then we come to June 22nd of 1924. And at the train station, Fritz, he is seen arguing and yelling at a 15-year-old boy by the name of Karl Fromm. And I think there's like police officers that are kind of like hiding in bushes, like quietly watching him. And one source claims that...
Wait, they were eating out their wives? Hey, it was the 1920s, man. Everyone had bushes.
Hell yeah, baby. And one source claims that Fritz noticed the police, and he tells them to arrest this young boy because he was traveling on forged documents.
Well, he found out because he said, hey, where are you from?
So maybe that part happened, maybe it didn't, but I don't see why he would be like, police, arrest this boy. He's traveling on forged documents. But either way, the boy, young Carl, he tells the police, he's like, I've been staying with Fritz for the last 3 or 4 nights, and he has been raping me. So Fritz, once again, finds himself arrested. The one time that he doesn't kill the kid right away, he ends up being taken down for it because this kid was with him for like the last 3 or 4 nights, and I think Fritz was out here trying to get him to come back. But here's a quote on him. Quote, Fritz would later confess to his intention of killing Fromm, so he did say he wanted to kill him, marking the first time that he was guided by moral principles, although it ironically proved to be his downfall. So he said he actually planned on killing him, but I don't know what happened, but he just can't do it. So because he didn't end up killing this kid, this is what ends up being his downfall. So hell yeah, nice job, Carl. He deserves the company. So if anyone here would like to give the company to Carl, go ahead.
I'm guessing there's a guy named Billy that wants to.
So the police are like, all right, let's go check out Fritz's home. So they go to his house and they search that bad boy top to bottom. They find blood stains all over the walls and floor, to which Fritz tells the officers, hey, this is all just from an illegal meat trade business that I run from, inside my house. Which maybe they were going to believe that possibly.
I mean, fuck, that was actually not that bad of a,
yeah.
Like nice try, honestly.
So that's where the pork rumors came from.
But Fritz still has some of the possessions that once belonged to the victims, and they were found in his house still. So he never got rid of them all. He kept some of them as like little trophies. And here's a quote from Killer Central. Quote, neighbors reported seeing him at odd hours leaving with concealed sacks and baskets. A large number of items were taken from his flat and put on public display, asking for the owners to come forward. Parents of missing boys came forward and identified the property as belonging to their missing sons. So yeah, Fritz is pretty much shit out of luck here. He would deny all the murders at first, but after like 6 or 7 days in jail, he confesses to them all. And here's an interesting note that gets mentioned a lot in some of the sources. Only a quarter of the personal items that were found in Fritz's home belonged to the victims that he was charged with killing.
So there could be potentially more then?
Yeah, we actually don't know. There could potentially be a lot more. So here's another quote. This one's from Wicked Wee. Quote, under interrogation, Fritz quickly confessed to raping, killing, and butchering young men since 1918. When asked how many he had killed, he claimed somewhere between 50 and 70.
Okay.
The police, however, could only connect him with the disappearance of 27 youths, and he was charged with 27 murders. But with the trial, he would be found guilty of 24 of the 27 murders. I don't know the details on that exactly, like why 3 weren't pinned on him or how he was found not guilty of 3. But yeah, he apparently originally said between 50 and 70. Whether or not he was just saying that as a number, I mean, we don't really know. But he's found guilty of 24.
Wow.
I don't remember the exact quote, but I do remember reading that sometime during the trial, he immediately complained about there being too many women there.
Oh my God, yes.
So stupid.
Too many women.
Yeah, so we do have a few more quotes. We're in this case with some quotes. Here's one that's kind of interesting. Quote, the trial was very spectacular. It was one of the first major media events in Germany. The term serial killer had not yet been coined, and the public and press were lost for words to describe the case, so he was simultaneously referred to as a werewolf, a vampire, and the Wolfman.
Cute. Real cute.
Here's a quote from Fritz himself. Quote, often after I had killed, I pleaded to be put away in a military asylum, but not a madhouse. If Hans Grans had really loved me, he would have been able to save me. Believe me, I'm not ill. It's only that I occasionally have funny turns. I want to be beheaded. It'll only take a moment, then I'll be at peace.
Fuck yeah.
Definitely not ill, though.
Yeah, that is real funny turns. I agree. You know, like that's when I think of funny turns, I also think of raping and killing 27 boys.
Yeah,
so.
possibly also, 70.
His quote is a little bit off, too. If they cut off his head, he won't be at peace. He'll actually be in 2 pieces, so.
Oh, my God, too. Here's another quote. After a circus of a trial and several psychiatric evaluations, Fritz was put to death on April 15th, 1925. He was beheaded by a guillotine, and we'll read his last words in a minute. The remains of his victims were all buried together in a grave in Stockner Cemetery months before his execution, with a large granite memorial inscribed with the victims' names and ages. As was customary at the time period, Fritz's head was preserved in a jar by scientists who used it in their studies to examine the structure of his brain. It was being kept at the Göttingen, that's probably not pronounced right, medical school until 2014 when it was cremated. It was... Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It was kept in a jar till fucking 5 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
It's almost,
Damn.
100-year century.
Fuck.
And you can see the picture of it online too.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking for it.
The judge asked him, they're like, all right, you're
Jesus.
getting put to death. Any last words, Mr. Bruce? Yeah, your mother.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I guarantee if Fritz was like, yeah, your mother, that they would have been like, stop the guillotine. He lives for being too cool. So according to the wiki, this was his full final moments. Quote, according to published reports, although Fritz was pale and nervous, he still maintained a sense of bravado as he walked to the guillotine, which I imagine him walking up there like fucking Vince McMahon.
Fuck yeah.
The last words Fritz spoke were, I am guilty, gentlemen, but hard though it may be, I want to die as a man. And this is what Fritz told the court before his sentencing. Condemn me to death. I ask only for justice. I am not mad. Make it short, make it soon. Deliver me from this life, which is a torment. I will not petition for mercy, nor will I appeal. I want to pass just one more merry night in my cell with coffee, cheese, and cigars. After which I will curse my father and go to my execution as if it were a wedding. And I will say, that's a pretty fucking...
That's well written.
Those are some badass words to go out on.
Like if he says that, that's like an author wrote that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty badass thing to go out on. I mean, he's a piece of shit and everything, and I hope they didn't give him coffee, cheese, and cigars, but I'm pretty sure they did.
I like to pretend he didn't say that also. I like to pretend he like just grunted because he's a fucking idiot. But
yeah.
And then the reporter wrote all that.
I like to imagine that, after which I will curse my father and go to my execution as if it were a wedding. And instead of a mic drop, it's just his head drops into the basket.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yes.
Fritz was 45 years old when he was executed.
Huh.
I don't know why. I picture him
Way
younger.
too young. Too young, man. Such a shame.
Such a shame.
Did he have a kid with that woman?
Yeah.
Huh,
She was
okay.
pregnant. I don't know if
Okay.
it lived or if, I don't know. Well, here's another quote. This is on Grans. Quote, Grans was initially found guilty of enticement to murder in the case of Adolf Hannapel.
Ooh.
He was an apprentice who vanished from Hanover's railway station on November 11th, 1923.
Killed the wrong Adolf.
Wrong, Adolf died. Witnesses had seen Grans in the company of Fritz, pointing to Hanover. Fritz claimed this was one of the 2 murders committed upon the insistence of Grans, and for this reason, Grans was sentenced to death. The discovery of a letter from Fritz declaring Grans' innocence later led to a second trial and a 12-year prison sentence from Grans. After serving his time, Grans continued to live in Hanover until his death around 1980.
Oh, wow.
So Grans fucking lived till 1980. Only served 12 years.
Christ.
He almost got to see Back to the Future.
Yeah, I know. That's insane. And that's the only thing that's worth it. I mean, but he did get to watch Halloween. Well, he probably didn't, but like he was alive too.
Spencer, considering he was German, he almost got to see Back to the Future.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Hell yes.
I like it. Heil McFly.
Oh.
Here's a random interesting bit from the criminal code. Quote, Fritz also appeared to lack anything close to a sense of empathy. In fact, there are reports of him inserting himself into the investigations of some of the missing youth, speaking to their families, and then laughing afterwards.
Jesus.
This is notably psychopathic. Fritz displayed other psychopathic traits, such as clown face paint, a hatchet man necklace, as well including irresponsibility in several domains, deceitfulness, conning, manipulation, promiscuity, and a grandiose sense of self. It's likely, therefore, that he may have scored high on the psychopathy scale, too.
So you're saying that he's a promiscuous girl?
Promiscuous girl. So he's a pretty fucked up dude. His youngest victim was 10, and his oldest victim was only 22.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Sounds like R. Kelly.
Jesus, dude. I have one last quote, and then that is it for this episode. And this quote is from Fritz himself. So do you guys have anything you want to mention before I read this final quote?
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
It's pretty fucking gross, I'll be honest.
Okay, I'm less excited.
Quote, I'd make 2 cuts in the abdomen and put the intestines in a bucket, then soak up the blood and crush the bones until the shoulders broke. Now I could get the heart, lungs, and kidneys and chop them up and put them in my bucket. I'd take the flesh off the bones and put it in my wax cloth bag. It would take me 5 or 6 trips to take everything and throw it down the toilet or into the river. I always hated doing this, but I couldn't help it. My passion was so much stronger than the horror of the cutting and chopping.
The horror was the cutting and chopping part, and not just the fact that you murdered somebody.
Yeah, well, it's a real pain in the ass to have to chop up a body and
snapping
haul it out to the river.
I want to know what in 1920 or early 1900s, what can you flush down the toilet?
Yeah.
Like, literally just has to be eyeballs.
I mean, apparently
I don't know if toilet meant toilet, like to us. I think it meant a different kind of toilet.
Dropped it in a hole in the ground.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
A solution would have been just to, not kill people.
Timmy, that's the easy way. You're taking the easy way out.
Because then you wouldn't have to do any of these things.
But Timmy, you're not understanding the thrill of biting through someone's jugular.
I do not understand that thrill.
How they actually found some of these, they're like, I guess he thought that he was burying these bones in like this hole out back, but it turns out he was just shoving them into Irma's asshole.
It cut out.
It cut out.
Man.
We didn't hear it.
Cut out.
Damn
Shoving them into urns.
No, it was Irma's asshole.
I thought it was gonna be like urns, like in Skyrim.
Oh
my
shit,
God,
that's good too. So yeah, that is everything we have on German serial killer Fritz. He was a fucked up dude, pretty disgusting. Vampire, werewolf, wolfman, whatever the fuck he was. The world was better off once he died, and it's a shame that so many young boys were taken advantage of and killed just because this dude was a sick fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys got any comments or anything before we get some words of wisdom? We're gonna fucking need some too after this episode.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, no jokes. That was gross.
No jokes. Never mind. I think that joke's already been made. I say, what is this? Fucking
Brothers Commonplace episode.
That or an Amy Schumer stand up on Netflix. It's gonna be one of those. But
about all about her fucking smelly pussy.
Alrighty, after this tough just gut-wrenching episode, too.
Just so nasty.
I hope you got some fucking words of wisdom, because the listeners need it this week, brother.
All right, so Andrew got a new job recently, and he said he was getting overwhelmed there, so he needed me to come help out. And I was like, yeah, sure. It was at a public library. And I was like, oh, fuck, all right. So it was actually fun as fuck, man. Me and him just, like, studying and shit while we're working there, like, going through all the books and everything and putting shit away and hanging out.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, he leaned in close to me. He's like, can you keep a secret? And I was like, yeah, sure. What's going on? He's like, there's another reason I got a job here. And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? He said, I'm thinking about becoming a superhero, but I want to be a bad guy of it. And I'm like, so a super villain? He's like, no, I'm already a juggalo of that. I was like, yeah, sure. So you're going to be an evil guy now? He's like, yeah. He's like, I've already been doing it. It's these weird sexual acts I've been doing. I'm like, what the fuck?
Fuck yeah.
He's like, I'll tell you my name after I tell you what I do. So, like, you know, there used to be a porno where the guy would put his dick in like a pizza box and she'd have to open it. I think it was called Big Sausage Pizza, or like the old timey thing where you put your dick in like the popcorn thing.
Yeah.
And the girls would reach in the popcorn and grab your dick.
Yeah, for me, I would do it in like those little Halloween boxes of dots. They had to eat a couple to get to it.
Skim a little off the top. So I was like, what are you talking about, Andrew? And he's like, so I've been hiding in the shelves, right? And he's like, I put my dick in a book and they open it up and I pop it out and they grab it. You got to turn to page 69 to find it. And I was like, okay, what the fuck's your name then? He's like, they call me the bookworm.
Yes. Oh, yes, baby.
And then I found out he was kicked out of the Scholastic Book Fair.
No,
Holy
man.
fucking Christ.
Oh, my God. He did that at the book fair?
The only reason I ever saw this because I never had any fucking money to go that goddamn thing, so that's fine.
That's good shit, dude.
And then I found out we weren't... I don't know how to add this. It's just that Andrew had a bush and we worked at the library.
Oh, my God.
Alrighty, Spence. You want to hit us with that closing shit, brother?
Well, I guess I could. You know, we love all you listeners here at the Brothers Commonplace, and we would love for you to continue listening. And here's several ways that you can do that. You can subscribe to our podcast. You can check out Brotherscommon.place. That's our official website, and that's where you can find all things Brothers Commonplace related. There's also our YouTube channel. You can email us, brotherscommonplace@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. And you can find us on Patreon, where you can support us for the $1 a month level, the $5 a month level, or the whatever you want a month level, which some people do, which I still can't believe.
Yeah,
it's
we
amazing.
love that. We love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And, you know, it just, all of this helps the podcast continue to grow and continue to support you listeners. And we have this Snapchat group that took on a life of its own that we have no control over now. It's like it's like the
our
fucking
lives.
Virus at the beginning of 28 Days Later.
It really is. Yeah.
Started with
Oh,
chimpanzees,
really
and
is.
now it's just all over the world. And there's fucking Lance in there and shit.
Hell yes. I think there's only like 10 people in it now.
Really?
I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure like
I haven't
everyone
looked
has
in
left
weeks.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll just be honest. I open all the videos and pictures. I rarely have time to check all the messages. I maybe do a little bit once a day, but I'm still happy it's a thing. I love it.
I haven't even opened the videos for like 4 days.
Yeah, it's
I
been a
have to
while.
admit.
It's been a while.
But
It's so active.
somehow it spawned this thing called Ass Hive, which I totally support.
I mean,
although I don't understand at all.
I did the hashtag. I don't know where the fuck it came from.
I love it.
So we have things that have spawned off of us that we don't even have control over.
Yeah, it's
That's
wonderful.
the power of the Brothers Commonplace.
They're funnier than we are.
Oh, also
they
we have
are
a Discord.
for sure.
Yes.
We have a Discord, which you can find on our subreddit,
Yes.
And we have a subreddit too, our Brothers Commonplace. And we just got everything here. So we love to hear from you guys, and we love those 5-star reviews and those ratings that you can leave us wherever you check out podcasts, on YouTube or especially on Apple Podcasts, because for whatever reason, that's still the way that podcasts are judged in 2019.
Dude, I swear to God, I'm going to make a Pornhub account and upload Chili Cartel to it.
Dude,
I
hell
hope
yes.
you do, because they won't allow it on YouTube anymore.
Because it's salt and pepper.
Yeah, fucking salt and pepper.
Yeah.
What if I upload it to YouTube and like the auto moderation thing like puts it in the gay section?
I'd be fine with that.
Automatically. It just knows. It puts it right in the same category with like Fritz.
Oh, hell yes. Worth it.
Did I cover everything there, Kev?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. We love all of you listeners, and we love that you support us, and we'll try to give you as much love as we can if you jump in on the Patreon and send us a message or anything. We love it.
Hell yeah. So special thanks to everyone that has already left us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you haven't yet, that would really mean the world to us and help us out. It takes a minute or two. It's super annoying, but we do really appreciate it. And unfortunately, podcasts, it's all about numbers, and I hate it. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. It's so annoying because I think we have a good show and it's fun, but we just don't have the numbers to really do anything, but, maybe eventually. And thank you to everyone that has signed up for our Patreon. I can't believe we have 56 people on there supporting us. That's insane. That's awesome. We're almost halfway to our goal of $500 a month, which we're going to get better mics. We're also, like our promise is, we're going to watch Joe Dirt 2 and do a review of it and then send Joe Dirt 2 on Blu-ray to one of you losers to fucking watch it. Yeah, everyone's been awesome. Sober October is beginning soon. I don't know what the name is going to be. I thought about maybe like T-Brocktober, which it doesn't sound right, but it's like T-Bro-C for the Brothers Commonplace, so T-Brocktober. But I don't know yet. We got to get a better name. Year 3 of the podcast starts with the next episode, so that's going to be our 3rd year that we've been doing this.
Jesus.
I believe it was Joe that coined it this year, the year of the kangaroo. So this 3rd year is going to be the year of the kangaroo.
I mean, given all the Australian listeners we have, that makes sense.
Yeah, we have so many awesome Australian listeners. So thank you so much, everyone in Australia that's listening. Australian Daniel, you're a badass. We got Gina. We got Kate. Little bit of the bubbly.
Oh, dude.
Little bit of the bubbly.
That was going to be one of my openings. I forgot now.
Who's the person who works in the mines? You're awesome.
Yeah, that
fucking
dude's
person
fucking
who
cool.
works in the mines.
I keep
We
forgetting. I don't
have
know
a
the
person
name.
that works on.
It's like
I've
Corey
seen the-
or
yeah.
something like that.
Seen the
Yeah,
video, yeah.
he's fucking awesome.
He's a badass.
Dude, he's the fucking lawnmower at night, dude. I fucking love that guy. But yeah, we just have so many. Like, I feel bad, but I love that we're to the point where it's like it's too hard now for us to shout out and thank everyone. Like, it's
We
like a
love you
good
all.
problem to have,
Yeah,
'Cause
we
it's
love
like-
all you guys.
It's like, fuck, man, I can't believe there's that many people that
Yeah,
like
we're
listening.
we're just 4 idiots who just like to talk with each other.
Yeah.
That's really all we're doing.
Exactly.
And,
We worked at a shitty restaurant together, and here we are.
Yeah,
and we
I mean,
can't.
it used to be 5, but Andrew's dead.
Yeah,
so.
he got his throat bit out by that dude.
But I mean, hey,
By CJ.
I mean,
Oh, my God.
to the guy's offense, Andrew was actually trying to do it to him first. so that one was self-defense.
And also, we got to give a shout out to, last but not least, our Brooklyn boy. Fucking Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn John.
Hell yeah.
Fucking, I love that shirt that you gave me, man. Brooklyn John, we want to hear
Yeah.
from you.
Oh, he posted on Instagram the other day. He was keeping.
Oh, hell yeah.
And anytime he wants to record an audio clip and throw it on here, we'll do it. So
Oh,
he's
we
our
miss
dude.
those. We miss those
He's our 5th brother and hype man. So
for sure.
yeah.
Get out of here,
You
Andrew.
know, maybe I don't know if Spence, if you want to do this sometime, if you have time. I tried, and I get fucking burned out like 5 minutes into it. I was trying to make a Squarespace website, which is like it's easy to do, but it's like I cannot for the life of me figure out a design that I enjoy or anything. Like I
Yeah.
just don't feel like jumping into it. Which I don't know if anyone wants to. You can do like a
Well-
free trial and stuff, but because I wanted
I could do it on my fucking server with the Brotherscommon.place domain name and shit. I should just do it.
Because I mean, we don't even need a website. I just wanted a place that would maybe have like a feed with all of our episodes on there, like just the RSS feed on there, and then all of our information. Like go here for our merch, which is our Threadless page. Go here for our Patreon. Go here for the
Yeah.
Discord or something. I don't know. But I've tried to start it like 3 or 4 times, and I just can't fucking do it. It's easy to use and everything. I
Can't
can't
fucking
fucking
do it,
do it.
man.
What is that? Oh, that's
That was you. That was
Fuck,
you.
it is
That's
me. Okay,
you
never
trying
mind.
to jump, like hang yourself in our old apartment.
Fuck, I thought it was Scream. I think that's it for me. Primo, you got anything, brother? Oh, alrighty then. Thank you everyone for listening. Be good.
Stay safe.
Laugh the dark stuff.
Hashtag TBroC. Hashtag Wildman.
Oh,
Ooh,
baby.
man. I love that.
Hashtag thank you, Mark.
Mark.
Hashtag boy pussy.
Hashtag wild woman.
Oh.
There weren't any wild women in this story, though.
All right, let's see if this works. Hashtag Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Boy, 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 pussy.
Yeah.
Worked pretty
Boy
well.
pussy.
Hashtag ass hive. Hashtag year of the kangaroo.
Ooh, love it.
Man. Hashtag year 3.
Yeah.
Hashtag MAGA. No, none. All right, never mind.
Our goal.
Wait, did you attack Juicy Smollier?
Dude, our
Holy
goal
shit.
for year 3 should be to be. Our goal for year 3 is to be better than year 1, but I'm not referring to the podcast. I'm just
We're
talking about the shitty movie year 1.
Okay, we're already
What?
better. We're already better than that movie.
I laughed a lot at that movie. That movie's funny.
Oh, man.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I hated that movie.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't like it
man.
either.
I was so upset about
I
it.
didn't like it,
'Cause
but I
feel like
laughed
it could
at
have
it.
been funnier because I like Michael Cera and I like Jack Black.
Yeah.
I got nothing out of that movie.
Really? I could see getting nothing. Never mind. I'll stop defending it.
I liked it.
But alrighty, guys, I'm shutting her down.
Okay.
Alrighty. Stop in Audacity.
Dude, I've fucking had a shit brewing since probably 20 minutes in. And I'm sitting in my fucking room straight up fucking sweating. I'm sitting Indian style on the floor because I'm pretty much begging it to dam up my ass. I'm fucking afraid. Oh, I'm still recording. I'm fucking afraid to sit up right now.